All right, peeps. We are live. 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 And man, what what a crazy couple of days. How did you guys like that blue moon energy? You guys like the blue moon energy we experienced this past weekend? Maybe get a little bit more of it tonight. Halloween moon. Halloween moon. Unbelievable stuff. Never felt anything like it. I mean, I've felt like full moon energy. I've never felt full moon energy like that. It was like crazy vivid dreams. I had a dream last night where I interacted with someone who I was very close to, who's been dead for a couple of years now, about over a year now. Nuts, absolutely nuts. Um, this is going to be a shorter Periscope, just because we're going to be doing one tomorrow and we're going to be doing one on election day itself. I did want to talk about some stuff. First, we're just going to be very fast. Fortunately, we're in Portugal. So Portugal is not like crazy, detailed stuff with wine. We're doing DAO today. We're doing DAO. Okay. So DAO, if we look at Portugal here, so remember we did Vino Verde followed by the Douro, where we have port here, right? And now we've moved down to the Dow River. So this area right here, this is all granite, high elevation granite, and the red wines and the white wines here are they're very full bodied these days, very full bodied. And actually, if you guys remember from when we did Bierzo, some of the areas in Galicia and Spain, we had the Mencia. Remember the Mencia from Spain? It was very good. It was very good. So one of the grapes commonly blended in Dow red wines is Mencia. It's called Hain here, but so it's got Mencia, Touriga Nacional, and Touriga Cow. I believe it's Cow. I believe that's right. Check this out. I don't want to. Yeah, Cow. Cow like Dow Cow. And those are pretty standard Portuguese grapes. So let's try it. The whites have some kind of interesting local varietals. Name of which I see here is Encruzado. These are grapes that you're not going to see exported. But apparently the great thing about these grapes is they can age quite a bit. Let's try it out. Try out the white. Pops out bright like a Albarino. Nothing particularly exciting or interesting about it. Just very good. I'll show you guys the color so you can see it. But it's good. It's a good white. This is not a white for aging. It's a little floral, but it's meant to be drunk young. Let's try this red, though. That's really nice. You can taste some of that Mencia in it. There's a little bit of crazy forestiness. When I say crazy forest, I mean like if you were to stumble upon some wild berries, some dark wild berries in the woods. It's kind of what it tastes like. Needs to open up a bit. It's very jammy. It's good. They're good wines. All right, peeps. What do I want to talk to you about today? Well, first we're gonna do the regular update. The regular update, of course, being that the polls are wrong. The polls are wrong, and they're starting to realize it now. Do you guys notice that they're starting to panic? They're starting to panic. It's starting to set in for them. It's starting to set in that they are going to lose this fucking thing, and they're going to lose it big. Oh, man. I mean, hearing the stuff with like Nate Silver in full-on meltdown mode, trying to justify why he's throwing out all these different polls, and then now he's making caveats, right? He's making caveats. Well, maybe this could happen. Maybe this could happen. But the reality is that you even have, okay, guys, you know my map. You know what I've said. Okay, you know what I've said. And I have acknowledged that it could be better than this. I'm just saying the only thing that the data supported, okay, I was very open energetically to an even bigger shift. But the only kind of map that the data supported was 326 electoral votes. We would get everything from 2016 plus New Hampshire, plus Nevada, plus Minnesota. And I also felt that we would keep the Senate, probably gain a seat at least, and take the House of Representatives and win the popular vote. I felt that there was a very, very strong data around that. But guess what, guys? Guess what? Guess what? I might even lose money on this bullshit. I might even lose money on it. GOP in New Mexico is now saying that they think they're going to win the state. They think Trump's going to win New Mexico. I mean, if there's a sleeper state, it's probably New Mexico. Depending on how the black vote turns out, it could be Virginia. I don't think it's going to be Colorado, guys. Colorado, I don't know, remember if I mentioned this before. Colorado is the only state in the nation that is demographically trending. How do I put this? It's the only state in the nation that is really moving away from Trumpism. It's the only one because it's getting all the it's getting a very like young, college educated hippie group coming in there. But New Mexico, Nevada is pretty much in the bag. I mean, the only thing that would stop Nevada from turning is fraud, from what I've seen with it. But the issue is that in Nevada, fraud is a legitimate. It's a yo, have fun at that rally. Light it up. Light it up. That's awesome, man. That rally was so fun for me last Monday. I highly encourage you guys to get to a rally if you can. It's going to be absolute history. Absolute history. You got to make sure you have a chance to go there and see him. Got to see the big man, all right? Pictures don't do him justice. They don't do him justice. I love the big man, but pictures not enough. It's not enough to make it happen. So yeah, so now we're getting some information that GOP could be taking New Mexico. Maybe it's going to get worse than that. I mean, did you see what Trump put out there today? He said, like, I have it on good authority that Biden's called young black men super predators for years. Man, this is such a mousetrap for them. Because actually, a bear trap. It's a little more like a bear trap. Because what the fuck are they going to do with that statement? And I know he said it. I know he said it at the debate. But it's like, by repeating this, what are they going to say? They're going to try to say, oh, well, Biden didn't say these things. He didn't say super predator. He just called them predators. What a trap. They can't correct it. Because if they correct it, then they draw more attention to it. But if they don't correct it, then Trump can keep saying it and it goes on unanswered. Biden is falling apart. Okay, you had Trump guys in pickup trucks in Texas harassing the Biden van, harassing it so much that apparently they canceled rallies in Austin. Rallies, right? It's like nobody there. That was another funny thing, right? Where you had Obama introducing Biden and nobody, and he like didn't hear it. They put the music up. This stuff is like it's fucking hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. And I have to tell you guys, I mean, really, this is it. I'll probably mention it again tomorrow, but guys, I'm doing this because I love you. Okay, it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial person. Whatever. It's not financial advice. I'm just saying, as a person, as your friend, I strongly suggest you put some money down on this election. I strongly suggest you do it because there has never been a chance to get money so easily as right now against people who have been lying to you and people who are full of shit, people who think that you're all these negative things. Never been a better chance. You will never get a chance like it again. Because, guys, after this, we're never going to have elections like this again. Okay, this is the end of an era. This is, I think, in a certain sense, this is the last American election. I don't say that from a negative standpoint. I just mean that it's going to be different. Okay, it's going to be different. And I don't know what it's going to look like. We'll talk about that stuff after the election. We're going to, because there's going to be a lot of stuff after the election, which brings me to the big thing. The big thing I want to talk about right here. This is a really big thing I want to talk about right here. What's going to happen after they lose? What's going to happen after they lose? I don't know how much you guys have been paying attention to some of these things, but you saw that they started to put out that cities are preparing for riots after the election. Now, why would they be preparing for riots after the election if they didn't know they were going to lose? Why would they be preparing for that? So they know they're going to lose. They've known for a while. Okay? This campaigning is a joke. It's a joke. It's a fucking joke. So they know that it's over for them. But here's the thing. What are they going to try to do? You guys who've been following Q understand the idea of deltas, okay? And I think that we just got 2 days ago, we got the biggest Q proof, I think, that's existed so far. There's been a lot of Q proofs. And again, when I talk about Q proofs, I'm not endorsing everybody in the Q community so many people who I think can go off the rails. But Q said what? Q talked about the first Q drops happened at the end of October 2017. Okay, first Q drops end of October 2017, and they were very, very intense. They were talking about a very, very serious situation confronting the country. And that's what I think caught a lot of people's attention to Q. I'm not certain about the early origins of it. Wasn't there for that. But one of the things that Q had on October 30th is, yep, National Guard in 12 cities. National Guard in 12 cities. And what was announced, that was Q drop October 29th, 2017, said, why is the National Guard being deployed to 12 cities? October 30th, we get a report saying that National Guard has been deployed to 12 cities. Yep. This isn't a joke. Sometimes people say like National Guard's being mobilized. No, this is like legit, guys. The National Guard has been mobilized. All right, I'm getting energetic feedbacks, and I've been gaining it a lot reading these Q posts. Okay, it's true. I really believe it's true. I'm getting more of it now. The more I say it, it is coming up. It is coming up. All right. What is going to happen? Well, the November 1st Q drop. Podesta is going to be arrested on election day, and basically they're going to have all these pre-organized riots and stuff to go on in all the cities, and they are going to, and the National Guard's going to have to deal with it. And then there's going to be the emergency messaging system. Remember that was created? Q's talked about it for a while. When is the emergency messaging system going to be used? Well, guys, I think this is it. I think it's going to be in the coming weeks. And the reason why I think it's going to be in the coming weeks is Trump wins the election resoundingly, okay? But what if the media doesn't report on it? What if the media tells the American people that he didn't win the election when he did? What's stopping them from doing that? They lie about all other things. What is stopping them from saying that votes for a certain candidate didn't happen? What's stopping them from saying that he didn't win a state? I don't know what's going to stop them from doing that, because all they can do is they can create the perception. They can just lie about the results of the election. And this, Biden is definitely the cabal, 100% the cabal. International banking, most international organizations, China, key parts of the cabal. The cabal, of course, has things in multiple countries around the world, but China is their primary client state, and China was the country that they were moving more of their stuff into. So the media is likely going to lie about this, or they're going to create some sort of narrative. I don't know exactly what they're going to do, guys. I don't know. Trump has already ended the Fed. We talked about this. In a certain sense, he's already ended the Fed, because back in February or March, he merged the Fed. I think it was actually March. He merged the Fed with the Treasury. So technically, the Treasury controls the Fed now. So the Fed is no longer an independent organization. That was a buried lead. The media didn't talk about it too much. Biden's not going to win, guys. He's not going to win. It's just like a fucking joke to even think about him winning. Okay, I've encouraged you as a friend to put some money down. Look, this guy, can you make up another conspiracy theory? You're going to feel like a fucking retard. You're going to feel like a fucking retard in a month. You're going to feel like a fucking retard. So you really want the civilian war? You American are really funny people. You're a dumb fuck. You're a dumb fuck. You have no idea. No idea what's coming for this. Nobody wants a civil war. I know. You guys are going to say, don't mess with these trolls, blah, blah. I'm going to leave the Biden 2020 person, because as far as I know right now, he's just joking. So we'll see. It's a good sign. Hey guys, let me point out something. You know how many times I've gone on some retard lefties Periscope or whatever or live feed and made all sorts of comments about how no, Trump's not going to win, Biden's going to win, like you Trump people, you're crazy, blah blah. You know how many times I've done that? You know how many times I've done that? Zero. I don't do that shit because why would I talk? Why would I bother going on that when I'm not like, how do I put this? Psychologically speaking, they want to fight with us. They want to argue with us because they know unconsciously they're losing this thing. So they have to come over here. They're like literally going to these kind of periscopes. I've been getting so many trolls recently. People saying, you're wrong. You're wrong. Hey, Pat, you're wrong. You're wrong. Hey, well, you know what? We'll see. But I have $100,000 saying I'm not wrong. $100,000 saying I'm not wrong. I put that money in for it. Does that scare people? Does that scare the little trolls? Does that scare them? Bottom all the way? $100,000. Do you think I'm not serious about this? I don't have to go and argue with you guys because I know you guys are fucked. I know you're so fucked that I would be willing to put that entire amount of money into this. It's going to be, I feel very, very bad. I feel really bad for these people because they're already super desperate. They're constantly pinging us. They're constantly saying, no, 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 you guys aren't going to win. You're not going to win. Why do you have to talk to me about that? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. None of us give a fuck here. So when they lose in a couple of days, and they know it already, they keep going to Nate Silver. Hey, Nate, hold my hand. Hey, Nate, no, tell me the polls. Nate, only 2 more days. Only 2 more days till I have to wake up, Nate. Please, please, I want to stay asleep. I have 2 more days to sleep. It's fucking hilarious. They're going to have a rude awakening, but we're going to have it's going to be rough, guys. And I am not, okay? You know me, super optimistic. I am optimistic. I think it's all going to be taken care of. Justice will be served. Republicans will control the court and all branches of government, which will allow them to clean out the infiltration little by little. And we're going to get to a point where we go from being 70-30. We'll be making history in 48 hours. I agree. We are going to have a difficult situation, though, after the election, just for a little bit. And I do recommend that everybody stock up on food for a week. Stock up on food for a week, especially if you live in a more developed area. Stock up on food for a week, maybe 2 tops. I don't think anything's going to happen to anybody. But if they are riots and if there's all sorts of shit going on and the National Guard has to be out there, then you may not want to be going out and trying to go to a food store, especially if you're in a city. You're not going to want to do that. So I do recommend you do this stuff just because it's prudent. Guys, my wife and I have talked about it. Does it make sense to do it? Probably doesn't make sense, but we're going to be in New York City for the election. We're going to be in New York City for the election, and we're going to be in there for the week after the election. Okay? So we are no Trump's got Wisconsin. Don't worry about it. Richard Barris, I love Richard Barris. I love Richard Barris because Richard Barris is he's extremely judicious. He doesn't say things unless he feels like he has full data for it. So when you see something from Richard Barris, you should understand that it's an absolute minimum of what's going to occur. Richard will not blow smoke up your ass. He cares way too much about his reputation to tell people that he sees something that isn't there. I will tell you guys where I see the energy going, and I'll tell you guys about the data. But he is very, very serious about the data with polling. Okay. And so he will only address the data. He won't say this intangible, which the data can't measure. I'm going to add a couple extra points to the model. He won't do that. and I respect him for not doing that. But for our purposes, the energy indicates it's going to be much bigger than that. It's not going to be close. It's not going to be close. Trump's going to win those upper Midwestern states by at least 2 points. At least 2 points. That's my guess. That's my feeling. Yeah. So let's talk about the BDA stuff a little bit. BDA is a bit confusing. Well, hold on. Let me just like finish this thought. So I'm gonna be in New York for it. I'm gonna be in New York for the election. But we're going to a friend's place, got the party all set up, have our Trump shit. Of course, when we leave, we're gonna take the Trump shit off. But we are going to we have our apartment there. It's a 6 floor walk up. Nobody's gonna be going up there. Um, but we're gonna have our food stocked up because it may be the case that it's not cool to go outside. And I'll be able to give you guys a little bit of like live updates and stuff. But guys, I have no fear about it. I have a good enough sort of channel at this point that if I knew being in New York was really bad, I wouldn't be there. Like I left New York before COVID hit. Right, I left like a week before COVID hit. I left a week before New York shut down because I was like, I want to get out of here. I people in the city don't kind of get where things are going to go. I don't mean necessarily with everybody dying, but just like I was like a step ahead of it then. I don't feel any risk personally to being in New York. Uh, and everything's aligned so that for the party, for the election, I'm supposed to be in New York. So we'll see what happens. Just be fun to be there during the chaos. I love chaos, right? That's why for many people this is a tough time, but not for me. But I will stay. I will stay safe. I will stay. I'll wear my mask inside at all times. Okay, so I'll be very safe. So how do I reconcile the shift towards positive energy in the BDA doom and gloom? Well, BDA is interesting. I don't really know exactly. I mean, Paul Ferber, the person who really diagnoses these BDA things, is very good. He's very good and he's very experienced in 4chan stuff. And as far as he's said, BDA has a pretty good track record. Um, we've been waiting for that dam to break. It hasn't broken yet. Maybe that's something that occurs after the election. And I could definitely see that because it's the thing that's going to break China. And perhaps the big deal is that we have to deal with internal stuff before we throw it externally. So maybe the dam gets held back. BDA said actually that God likes to have like a finish, right? God likes to have like a likes the showmanship, likes a movie. And he said that he's been holding back the dam from breaking for the right point. So maybe that indicates something that later on this year, after the election, the dam's going to break. I don't know that BDA. I have not been able to. I have gotten two different messages from him because on one hand he's saying I've seen the future and it looks like this, and he shows a picture of Mad Max, like the desert, nuclear wasteland. But then he also says that everything is pretty much confined to China, that God's wrath will be directed towards China. And so I don't really know exactly how to reconcile those two things. Um, God's wrath being directed towards China is pretty understandable and acknowledgeable, but the other stuff doesn't mesh, right? It doesn't mesh because remember what we said. I think I mentioned this earlier. As we move more towards 5D, okay, as we move more towards 5D, things get actually more peaceful and more unified than getting more violent and more rough. So I'm always very skeptical when I hear massive apocalyptic events coming on during the 5D transition. That sort of stuff is getting pulled out. So I don't know. I mean, big dicking on, right? BDA. I take it with I don't take it with a grain of salt. That's too much of a dismissal. But I hold it lightly, right? I hold it lightly. I'm interested in it, but we'll see. Opinion on the Euro lockdowns. Um, I'm sure it has to do with the coming events, and also most of the people remember that we're seeing two timelines attempt to play out at the same time. Okay, two timelines playing out at the same time. So we have the Ascension timeline and we have the New World Order timeline, and in some ways they are similar because they're both leading to some sort of global community. But the New World Order one is obviously, top down control mechanism based on fear, whereas the Ascension timeline is more of a unity kind of, as Magenta Pixie would say, round table. So a lot of the European leaders are cabal, and so they're continuing to play out the script. And you can see, like in the UK, for instance, you can't leave your house and see anybody through the holidays. Everything has to be completely locked down. I mean, this stuff is just fucking ridiculous. It's just like, it's so fucking ridiculous, and you're starting to see it actually in the UK. People are starting to riot, which is great. I mean, the Brits don't usually do that stuff. The Brits are usually, we're gonna, you know, keep it proper, follow the protocols. It's good to see the dam breaking over there. I think a lot of this was, they shut down Wales, and you couldn't get gift cards, just like Governor Whitmer. Which, by the way, guys, people who are like, is he gonna Trump gonna win Michigan? I mean, they hate Governor Whitmer so much. There's such a big regret around her election that there's no doubt. I mean, her alone will make it happen. So Euro lockdown, I think, is a reflection of the people who control things there. Um, but that timeline is not working. The timeline's not gonna get played out. Short term mess, long term light. Yep. When will we know the results? So I've been talking to Paul Publisher about this. My good friend Paul, my astrologer. Okay. Which, by the way, Paul may not like this. I know he's probably watching, but I gotta say it. Paul, gave me a little extra push. Give me a little extra push because stars were aligned for me to put some money in right now. I really do recommend you guys work with Paul. Um, I think that if you're kind of curious but skeptical about astrology, you should talk to him, because I was that. But I heard him out, and he's just very good. I mean, like all of these things, if you don't have quality, you get nonsense. If you have quality, you get really significant insights. So it's like you get one or the other when it comes to astrology and numerology. And Paul is on the top level, so I really recommend you reach out. But one of the things when we were talking the other day, because I talk to him once a month about my month, what's my month going to look like, and we talked about the election and more bigger things here, and he mentioned the that basically there is probably going to be a lag, and I agree with that. I think that the lag is probably going to be related to the media disinformation and having that reconciled. Um, we're kind of looking here at I think most likely within a week it'll be resolved, but there is a possibility it could drag out a little longer. Personally, I don't think that's likely. I think that a lot of messy shit's gonna happen for weeks afterwards, but I think that who won the election will be clear within a week. Will be clear and accepted within a week. But that's why I'm telling you guys, like, you should get shit for a week or two, just in case, because who knows, right? Who knows? So, and maybe there's gonna be legit darkness. Yep, England's travel ban lockdown. I am ENTP. How'd you know? BDA is big dickanon. Dam kicks off the 7 years, 7 days of mess after the election. David, that's a good point. That's a good point. That it could be a metaphor. It could be a metaphor. There's no doubt about that. I just wonder how much people are trying to include New World Order timelines in their assessments. Yes, we are entering a 10,000-year golden age. We are. So let me see here. I'm just trying to close off these questions because I got to run the dinner, guys. I got a birthday party. Great reset. I see. Yep. Yeah. Boris. I've heard Boris is like. I've heard that he may want to go to the light side, but he's not there yet. We'll see. Spain's happening too. Yeah, there's been some talk about China releasing a new virus. We'll see. Yeah, everyone's talking about Paul Publisher. He's great. I'm not going to. I'll talk to you guys about that privately. I'll talk about guys. I'm gonna talk about numerology another time because I think that there's truth to it, but it's again like you have to have people who really understand it. There's no doubt that I'll close with this. There are people when it comes to like some people are skeptical about Satanism and skeptical about occult rituals. They say, well, that stuff doesn't make any difference. Like, it doesn't work. Like, it doesn't mean anything. It's like, okay, that's fine. And maybe that's true. But they don't think so. They don't think so. Okay. So it's very clear they use numerology. So I think it's worth it's worth it. And as for the spontaneous outpouring of "We love you" at the rally, it's because people just feel it, man. They feel it. You can just feel it. He's such a leader. He's such a leader. He's such a funny person, but he's so strong. And I'm telling you, I was at the rally and I actually did a double take. The first thing I did when I saw him because he glows. Will Spencer just mentioned this too. He was at a rally the other day. Trump glows when you see him in person. I don't know what else to say about it. It's like a saintly aura. So he's here to open up the new world, and we're here to seize it. But we're gonna talk, guys. We'll talk soon. We'll talk tomorrow. We'll talk tomorrow. All right. I'll see you.